Morning, everybody, and welcome to ESO Daily. I am your host, Mystic Raven. All right, guys. So today, I really liked what I did yesterday on my live stream with building the Templar tank. So today, I'm going to continue to do that, except we're going to go with the Warden tank today. Now, disclaimer: I've already started with some of the building process, but we're going to change a few things around. So I'm going to reset the skill points. We're going to walk through this together, and I'm going to give you kind of the idea of where I'm going, why I go with the method behind the madness to build each tank and each class to their strengths. That's what I do. And it's kind of important for me to do that because I like the diversity in the game and how we can incorporate that in individual builds, make them functional and very, accessible. So accessible and functional at the same time. On a little bit early today, yes, because after this, I've got to post up the 2 tank builds. So yeah, I'm trying to get this out of the way, Robert. I'm trying. I'm hoping. I'm so busy. It's crazy. So I'm like, I'm going to get a jump start. So the first thing I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm going to go into the Crown store here, and I'm going to get a nice little respec token. Okay. Don't need race. I need the skills. There's supposed to be a skill one, I thought. It'd suck if I have to go to Mournhold. Might have to. Ah, there it is. Okay, don't want the attributes. We're going to take the skill. All right. Okay, I'm going to go to that inventory. I'm going to reset. All right. All right. Now, we're going to walk through all this together. Just so, now, the sets I'm going to be using for the build. Let's go over this and why I'm going to be doing it and kind of give you my mindset. We're going to use redistribution set. I had this build, almost this exact build on my Templar tank for the longest time because I had a healing tank. It was called the Redistributing Leech, and it was really good, really good. So I decided I'm going to kind of take the same principle but apply it to the Warden in a whole different aspect. Now, you'll notice that I'm not using Eben. I will explain why I'm not going to be using Eben on the Warden tank. But I'm going to be going with the redistributing and the leeching plate set. The whole idea behind the combo is simple. The redistributing, these are 2 of the best sets that was ever released for Asinium, especially when it comes to tanks. The major thing I really like about redistributing, it gives me all my max stats. It gives me my health, it gives me my stamina, it gives me my magicka. And when I heal myself at full health, I heal an ally within 15 meters for 2,347. Now we can scale that, but that can occur every 3 seconds. What the leeching plate allows me to do, when I take damage, I have an 8% chance to summon a cloud of leeching of poison under the attacker, dealing poison, and healing me 100% of the damage. So ideally what I'm doing is healing myself with the leeching plate. When I heal myself at full, while I'm at full health and I heal myself, I redistribute the healing effect to another party member, right? That's kind of a really good perk for the Warden. Why? Because when we go into the passives and we go down to green balance now, and I unlock this, we're going to apply the maturation. When you heal yourself or an ally, you grant minor toughness, increasing their max health by 10% for 10 seconds. Now, that's why I'm not using Eben on the Warden, because essentially what I'm doing is giving them health. I'm boosting their health without the Eben set. So I don't need the Eben on the Warden, right? I really don't need it because I'm applying a health buff. So I don't need it. I absolutely don't need it with the Warden. So essentially, as long as I keep my healing effects up, maturation will apply. Okay, so that's pretty much how we're going to do that. Now, as you guys can see, I went Argonian with this. You can go with any race. Okay, if you like Orc, you go Orc. If you like Nord, go Nord. If you like Imperial, whatever race. But with this build, I wanted to go with Argonian intentionally because of not so much the restoring passives is why most people go with Argonian, which is resourceful, right? A lot of people like Argonian because resourceful. That's not why I went with Argonian, right? That is absolutely not why I went with Argonian. I went with Argonian for quick to mend. This is why I went with it. Because I increased healing done and healing received. On the Warden tank, this is a boost. Because I'm going to receive healing as a tank. But guess what? While I'm healing, it's going to buff all my healing effects that are going to apply. So I'm not going to use a shielding system like we did with the Templar tank. The Templar tank yesterday I built was built around what? Shielding system to mitigate through block and shielding. This one's going to be reverse. So we're going to mitigate through block and healing. So we're going to offset our mitigation through healing system. So it's really, really nice. I'm going to love this build. I promise you will too. So it's really, really good. It's going to be awesome. I promise. I promise. Okay. So the first thing I want to go ahead and do, since we've already covered the sets, we haven't made any alterations or anything as of yet. Okay. That's one thing I do want to point out here. But we're going to check a monster set, right? Now, surprisingly, I'm going to go with a monster set that's going to help me sustain as well as what? Heal. And to do that, I'm going to go to one of my little favorite of all of my healing monster sets. And that is, if we can find it, my Sentinel. Okay, we're going to go with the Sentinel. Why? It's going to increase my healing done. And when I heal a friendly target, you have a 10% chance to summon a Dwemin Spider that heals for 178 health and restores. So I can restore stamina through the block with the set. So essentially, that's what I'm doing. So I just need a heavy and I need a medium shoulder. Okay? Because we already went with light waist. So we're going to add that. And we're going to add that. It's going to be really, really good. All right? I promise, I promise, I promise. All right, so we're going to do upgrades. We don't need blacksmithing, but I need enchanting. And I need jewelry crafting. Okay. Now, since we've already gone over that I'm going to be Argonian, one of the major things I'm going to do prior to getting into the skills is I'm going to make the adjustments to the jewelry. The nice thing about Somerset is transmutating existing jewelry or crafting. It's kind of the really good perk about it. But being Argonian, I'm going to take advantage of the resourceful passive, right? To do that, I need the alchemy acceleration enchantments. So let's go ahead and do that really quick. We're going to make those. Okay. And I want to say it's one of these. We'll figure it out. Nope. I can never keep a lot of these things. There it is. There's the alchemy. Okay, so I want to go with the it today for the reduction. We're going to make 3 of them. Now you'll see 5 seconds. We have a 5-second reduction by 3. That's 15 seconds. All right. Looks good. And then we're going to up that reduction by a lot. So you'll see we got healthy, but we're going to go infused, right? We're going to transmute all of these to infused. If you're an Argonian tank of any type, matter of fact, in my opinion, most Argonian healer might be different, but if you're an Argonian tank of any class, this is the way to go, in my opinion. Okay, now look, from 5 seconds to 7.6, that is huge. That is massive. That is crazy, crazy, crazy cool. I love that. All right, so we did that. That's done. So let's go ahead and get into the skills. We're going to start laying out a lot of things going over here, and we'll be going over it. First thing I want to go ahead and do before I pick up my Mundus is unlock all my passives. All right. Okay, now we're going to go down to Destruction Staff. It's very important if you're going to use a Frost Staff on a tank, which is going to be a really good perk, given the dual effect, and we can maintain. You'll see a lot more tanks using Frost Staff for resource management. It's one of the perks to doing the Frost Staff. Not every build's going to do it, but it is one of the perks. I don't need that. So we got all those unlocked. We're going to go Sword and Board. And then we'll start unlocking skills. All right, there we go. We're going to pick up, go here. We're going to pick up that nice Pierce Armor. We're going to go with that nice Heroic Slash. It's debatable, but I'm going to pick it up anyways because we can get... there's a major heroism into whatever, so we'll get the minor, so we're good there. Those are the two skills I'm more worried about with this build. Okay. Now, going into the Winter's Embrace. Very important how we're going to do this. We're going to look at Frost Cloak, okay? And we're going to take a look at the morphs. Now, we can do increase the radius and reduce the cost, or we can go with Ice Fortress, which grants the minor protection. Minor protection is really good because it gives us a reduction. David, what's up? So I'm going to go ahead and take that Ice Fortress for the tank. Now, on healers, I usually go with Expansive. But tanks, I always go with the Ice Fortress. Okay? Now, we're not barring any of these. We're just kind of picking them up. I'm going to grab Arctic Wind. We might not use it, but we'll go with it. I always go with Polar Wind most of the time, unless I'm doing PvP and I want to grab up Arctic. But most of the time, I go with the Polar Wind. I see you have been using the Frost Staff, one of the last 3 tanks. Exactly. Actually, on all of them so far. It's for resource management. More or less. I get a free shield if I do a heavy attack. I get a taunt associated. I get magic block instead of stam. That's huge for resource management. I've been going with it a lot, and I can control the switch out. So a Frost Staff, I have more Magicka. So if I need more Magicka resource on a shard or an orb, I go Frost Staff, pick it up, I get my Magicka. If I need stamina, I go Board, I can control it, and then do that. That's why I like it. That's why I really like it. Okay, most of the time we're not going to go with Crystallized Slab on this build, but you can pick it up because of the major heroism. Okay, that's why most people grab it, but most likely we're not going to be using that in this build config. I'll be honest with you. Okay, so green balance is a big one here, right? The major one I want is the Lotus, right? Because I'm going to weave, and that's going to be a healing effect applied. So that's big, big, big. Okay, so I can either take Green Lotus or Lotus Blossom, right? Both of them have the same effects for the healing effect. But I'm actually going to grab the Lotus Blossom with this one. Okay. And then if I wanted to, I could add like extra buffs or leeching vines or something like that. But I wrote the only one I really want is the Lotus Blossom. Now, I'm going to go into animal companions. Now, sometimes I used to use Scorch and the morphs, but a lot of changes. So in my opinion, it's not really as good because it's making you choose. But the Betty Netch morph is important to me. Now, keep in mind, I'm using Sentinel for stamina recovery, right? Really important, right? Because major brutality. But instead, I want the Blue Betty. Why? Because I'm using Lotus Blossom. I'm getting spell crit. I want major sorcery. I want to increase those healing effects from magic. 1 second. It's a little early. All right. The Ice Staff is the new meta, David. I'm seeing it everywhere. No meta, no meta. No. Yeah, a lot of players will be using it. Yeah, it's resource management is what it is. If you're not using it, you're not taking advantage of your resource management. That's the big deal. So Blue Betty is going to be one of those things that we're going to be utilizing as well for this build. Really comes in handy. So those are kind of the skills that we're going to be our upfront skills. Now we're going to go into the Psijic Order skill line. We don't know if we're going to be using the Temporal Guard, but we'll grab it. I know I'm going to be using Imbue Weapon. Why? Because I'm weaving. I'm already weaving. I want to apply that debuff. I already know that. I already know I'm going to be weaving a lot with the build. And I'm going to apply maybe a potential status effect. So we're also going to grab that nice Inner Fire, Inner Rage for a range taunt. Now here's the deal. My shielding system is weak on a Warden. So I can afford to go with either Spiked or Bone Surge. Okay? That's where I really want it, is the Bone Surge. Usually I go Spiked, but remember, I'm going healing with this build. Alright. Now, we're going to take that aggressive Warhorn. And here's the big one. The Resolving Vigor. It's going to apply a hot effect to us. Right? Okay. Think we're pretty much good for our layout here. Now, we did pick up any Munduses. And first thing I want to do is go to the Frost Staff and range my abilities as such. Now, first thing I always take a look at, which abilities can I back bar, which ones are really going to help me on my front end bar, right? It's kind of important. So if I wanted to, I could go with another CC effect right here if I need to. But let's go ahead. I'll put like Ice Fortress here. I'll put my Bone Surge. Slot it right here. We're going to go with our Blue Betty right here. I could go with the Leeching Vines too. Might do that. Always want to make sure when you're going through things whether or not it says WoW ability is slotted. It's one of the major things you want to take a look at. Okay, increase your magic and stamina recovery by 12% if an animal companion ability is slotted. Okay, very important. We could go with the Falcon Swiftness for the evasion. So, or we can get the Minor Berserk. We're not dealing a lot of damage, so we could go with this to maintain the bonus. Just to back bar it. Okay. Now, we'll take that. I think I want another sword and board. I think I'll go with the defensive posture for the absorb, maybe. Oh, my pull. I needed my pull. So my Fighter's Guild ability. Need to get into the Fighter's Guild. I need that pull. That's really big. Now. Alright. So let's put the pull here. And let's put that Blue Betty on the back. All right. I really like that. That's a good setup. That's a good start. Now, I can't put any sword and board abilities on this side. But remember, we got Blue Betty over here. We got this. We're going to put the Lotus Blossom over here. We have our mitigating effect. We're going to put our Inner Rage right here. Once again, I just like it. It's a whole different pull system. And then I can go ahead and put the healing effect for Resolving Vigor. So I'm going to put Resolving Vigor here. I think I'm going to go with my Ice Fortress. I like my Ice Fortress there. So let's put the Blossom right here, right? Now, I didn't put the other ability, so now question of it is, how do I want to set that up? Psijic Order skill. I like typically the Temporal Guard on the back bar. And I like the Elemental Weapon right here. So we have that, we have that. That's looking good. That looks good. I want the Resolving Vigor. I want this for sure. Question of it is, do I want the recovery down? Increasing stamina recovery. That's a lot of recovery, to be honest with you. Not to pay attention to. Get those blocks. We got the pull. Let me make one arrangement. I like that right there just because of muscle memorization. I usually use dual wield on my back bar to use quick cloak. Yep. Extra movement speed plus 25. Yep. AoE mitigation is really nice. I agree. It's one of those nice options you can go with, and it really does come in handy. Does. Speed and mitigation. Really nice. It's one thing I love about this game. Flexibility. I like to keep some consistency in my builds just because, you know, like my loadouts, no matter what I'm playing, I kind of have a familiarity depending on no matter what tank system I'm going with. So we all kind of do that in a way. So I really like the minor evasion. I really like, I can get the major heroism in the CP system. So I'm not too worried about it. So Ice Fortress, Lotus Blossom. Lotus Blossom is key for this build. It is very key. It's a necessity. That with Resolving Vigor. These two are a very, very big part of the build configuration. Got my debuff. I got my buffs. Got that. I need my aggressive Warhorn. Okay. Are they going to give everyone a free respect when Somerset drops? I don't know. That's a good question. They usually give us like a discount on the over by the respec stations. I don't know if they're going to do that. They did that with last year with Morrowind. So to be honest with you, I don't know. The question of it is, do I want the shielding system? I don't need the shielding system, to be honest with you. I don't need the Spike Bone Shield with this build. I really don't. This is pretty much what I was anticipating with the build, the original configuration. So, I mean, if I wanted to go Spike Bone Shield, if you want to, you can. I just really like that pull. I really like, you know, making sure the Ice Fortress is up. Okay. Now, another thing I want to go ahead and do, I want to apply the Ice Fortress. I want to take a look at my character sheet, see what my resistance is. So we're at 20K, and we're not using a mitigating system. So we're going to go ahead and we'll take our resistance. We're going to bump that up. Okay, 23 and 23, and we don't have the CP allocated yet. All right, Looks pretty good up front, and we got to put it in the CP. All right. So I'm really kind of liking where this is going. Now let me check my stats. I want more Magicka on the staff side. So that's kind of important for me. Because then when I go shield, because I got to make my glyphs. Because I got crafted sets. And when I go shield, I want more stamina. Okay, so we're going to create. What sets am I running? I'm running the redistribution set and the leeching plate. And I'll go over that again here. Why I'm going to be going with these sets. Okay. I think I need one more stamina. All right. That looks good. That looks good. Now, I want to go into my sets. Keep in mind, we already changed the attribute. We're getting 7.6 reduction. Okay. Shield is going to automatically go stamina. For the switch out, we already have stamina here. We already got health. We're going to go with multi-effect enchantment on the bigger pieces. I also will be transmuting that. We're going to go with the Magicka on the crafted. Alright. So everything. Alright. Okay, Magicka. 2 Magickas. And that should... And actually, that should be Magicka. So 1 more Magicka. Or health. Could go with health. Let's go with health. Leeching is badass. I don't know the other one. Redistribution gives me all max stats. I'll show that to you. Okay. Kind of like that. Like where this is going. Okay. Now I'm going to check this out. Make sure this is 16,802 prior. That's more. And then when I switch out, then I have more stamina. Perfect. It's perfect. Yeah, redistribution. Okay, let's go over that set really quick. Max health, stamina. Max stamina, max Magicka. When I heal myself while I'm at full health, I heal an ally within 15 meters for an additional. And that can happen every 3 seconds. Okay, so I'm going to go into my inventory. I'm going to grab more transmutation crystals. Okay. I'm going to come over here. I'm going to transmute that helm. Right? I want to get that infused. Especially if I'm going with the multi-effect enchantment. It's going to be pretty important. Okay. I can remember some of them. I want to make 3 of these. I'm going to take the biggest infused pieces. I'm going to line that with this. So we're going to enchant it. Chest is infused, or chest needs to be infused. So I need to transmute the chest and the legs. Okay. That's done. Looks good. Now you'll see all my smaller pieces are sturdy, except I have 1 divine. Might be going with sturdy. We'll keep it divine for now. Alright. Now, let's see here. We have pretty much, we got to do the weapon enchantments. But I'm going to go into the champion points and we will start working on the CP system. Now, I'm going to heal build with this, right? So this is kind of very important what I'm basing this off of. I want to take this up to about 9%, ideally speaking. We're going to deal some elemental damage, but we're a tank. We don't really fixate too much. And we want that foresight passive. That's going to be huge. I want to keep enough, but I want to try to get this. I usually try to get about 41. Might have to go a little lower. All right. Okay. We're not dealing any major dot damage. So Thaumatur's kind of whatever at that point. It's kind of almost pointless, but we need last stand. We're going to take that up to about 12. That will help scale. Actually, we are using leeching plate. We'll put a few points in. I really want to take that up, though. That base. We've got about 17 points. Let's bring that down to about 7. 4, 2. Let's try to keep it even. All right, 24 points. I want that repost is what I want. So might have to bring that down to about 7%. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. What do I do? What do I do? Take it away somewhere. Take a little bit, maybe. Just 1 point. I just need enough to get this. Might actually have to take a little bit anyways. We're going to take that to about 6. I can't take away from there. I'm committed to that one. Perfect. Well, not exactly, but at least I got the passives I want. I got the last stance. That's a major heroism. Very important for me. I got that repost. Why? Because I'm blocking. And then I got that foresight. That's for my potion drinking. Those are the big ones I want. Okay. I really want to take the reinforced, but the potion drinking is kind of important for me, which is right here. Determination. It's kind of a big one, but I'm going to be using a lot of heavy armor, which kind of might bump up that resistance. So let's start off with about 12. All right. We can go with the vampire on this too. So we're going to take that up to about 9% base on physical. We're going to up this to about 13. That'll be cutting close. Okay, now we're not going to be using too much of a shielding system. Quick recovery is our biggest one. Remember, it's kind of a heal type build. I'm not going to commit all the way because I have to see where I'm at on my resistance after I allocate these points. So we're going to take 1301. We're really going to amp that bitch up. Go about 10. Sprinter, reduce that. I don't like running out of stamina when I'm going anywhere. think about 12. Tenacity, I usually put about 6. I have that heavy armor passive, but I still take this up just a little bit. Health recovery, I want to offset that negative effect from vampirism just a little bit. I put just, I usually split these. Try to get that wild running passive. It comes in handy. Let's take it up to about 8. Okay, 90 points. Let's drop this down to about 6. Put that up there. Need one more point. Oh my gosh. There we go. I'm comfortable with that. Block reduction. Tank. All day. Going to take this up to at least 21%. Might be able to get 22. Bingo. Now, I'm going to take a look at everything prior to allocating the rest of the points. The way I see math, too, it's like automatically in my head. So we're at 1919 without. Apply, going in, 2424. That's with our Mundus for resistance. So now we can take that up a little bit. Now, keep in mind, we're not going to be at the 31 with this build. Why? We're healing. We're healing, we're healing, we're healing. So that's part of our mitigation system. But we can offset some of that. So that's a big, big plus. So I want to keep it at almost as even as possible, but I want to pick up that passive if I can do it. I'm not going to be able to unless I drop this down. I'm going to drop that down. Okay. Let's push that up to about 3. Coming over. Spell shield, we're going to put about 3K too. Got 2 points. 3-1. 3-1. That'll make that about even. Nice amount of healing. We're not going to get the determination unless we pull from somewhere else. Really hard decisions here. Could probably take this down. Maybe a smidge down to 9% and pull enough. No. Sometimes you just got to accept it. It's all right. It's fine. Okay, let's go into our character sheet. 21-21. Add it. 27-27, ladies and gentlemen. Oh. We got 21-28. It's a little bit lower health of a tank, but given the fact that we're going to add the toughness, that's going to be relevant. Let's add that vampirism now. So we're going to go to the crown store. We're going to get our vampirism going. Get your vamp on. Get your vamp on. Get your vamp on. Okay. We're going to go down to that skills. We're going to go to vampirism. The undeath is really nice, especially when you have low health. So we're going to up that recovery. That's another boon. All right. Now, we're not going to see it reflected yet. So we'll be almost at like 700 magicka recovery, 700 stamina. That's fine. A resistance looks even across the board. I like to keep it like that. Controlled with resources. I really like that. So I'm 21 on staff. Switch it out. And now we get more on the stamina side. Low health. This is kind of important. It's going to push up to about 30, 32. We'll check it out here in a minute. But the major important thing is how the build works. It's mainly a healing type setup is the way this build's designed. Okay? But you got to be in combat to get that toughness applied. Really, really liking it, though. I really like the idea, especially with the Lotus Blossom. Lotus Blossom is huge for this build. We got magic recovery. We got the Blue Betty is going to restore magicka, right? At no cost, right? The Dwemer helmet is going to restore stamina even while I'm blocking, right? So I have a form of maintaining magicka. I have a form of retaining stamina. I can control the aspect of what the orb's going to give me depending on which side I'm on. Whether I'm going to get a magicka for hitting the utility or whether I'm going to get stamina for hitting the utility. I'm going to be healing and redistributing its output. We got the block reduction. I think I definitely am going to transmute that shoulder into sturdy. Okay. So we want extra block reduction. So the way this is looking for our reductions, we have our biggest pieces infused. All of our smaller pieces have the block reduction. Okay. Excuse me. And of course, then we're taking advantage of the potion passive. So when I go into potions, consumables, there was like a bag. Maybe it is under alchemy. Right there. Okay, so there's tri-stat potions. So I'm just going to slot these. Okay, and then I drink a potion. Then I'm going to get all that resource back. Okay, then wrong. And then we get that. And I want you make sure you get on your skills too on alchemy. You want to unlock that passive, right? For medicinal use. Make sure you get that. Okay, it's kind of important. And then we got like 20 seconds. Like literally instead of 40 seconds, we got like 20. Blam. Okay. So love it. Love that. Love it. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to show you guys how we're going to do this. Okay. And how much our health is going to go up. Now keep in mind that will apply to your party members as well. So this gives you a nice amount of resource. And it gives you a ton of healing. And it's basically everything you're doing is redistributing heals. Right? So basically you're almost like a hybrid healer tank is what you are with this build. You're able to mitigate through your own healing system. And then you're able to heal others around you and offer utility. Okay? So that's how this build is designed. I don't need Eben with with this. Okay. Okay. Gonna heal, and then you're gonna see it. So we get a 3,444 bump to our max. So it's 3147 now. Is our max health. Nice. Now, nice thing about this, you hit the Lotus Blossom, you hit this, do a heavy attack, and then you can see the healing effects over here on the right. 4,000 health. Healing 4. Essentially, what you're doing is mitigating through a healing system. There's our Sentinel. It's going to recover. We're getting the evasion. We're getting our heroism. It's really, really nice. Now, when we take a look at our recovery stats, we bump up to 724. Do it our buffs. Vampirism, we'll get almost about 1,000. A little under. See that nice health. There's the leeching under it, and I just heal. Love it. Love it. That's how you do it. What dungeon do you get that helm from? Sentinel, you get it in Darkshade 1. That's where you get the Sentinel set. Leeching Plate, you get that in ICP. Or no, White Gold, I mean. So White Gold Tower is where you get the Leeching Plate set. And then you craft the redistribution set down in the districts in the Arbitorium. Is where you craft the redistribution set. It's a 9-trait set, I believe. So you got to have like almost like master crafting to craft it, but it's well worth it. Very well worth it. Looks good. Looks good. This is how we do it. This is how we do it. I'm not on a friggin' whatever. Get off me. I hate when people do that. Stop it. Not on a PvP build. Jeez, Matesis. People annoy me when they do that shit. If I was on a PvP build, whatever. And I hate duels unless you're a friend of mine. Well, I have dueled a few online, but I really hate... Dueling to me doesn't do anything unless I'm practicing. And that's what I duel for. Practice. Trying to figure out, well, okay, how do I counter this? Can it be countered? So on and so forth. Like... Dueling is a waste of time. If I want to kill people and I want to PvP, I'd rather be in PvP. But me and my friends, we go over like when we duel, we do it like slow pace. So we counter. We learn our counters. We learn how to mitigate and how to do effects. That's what we're doing when we duel, and we do practice. What dungeons? Oh, yeah, you already asked that. So there it is, guys. This is the new Warden tank build. It's a lot different from my freezer burn build, and that's kind of the thing I want to stress out. Now, enchantments. I haven't done the weapon enchantments, but once again, now this is kind of important too. You'll notice that my staff is going to be Nirnhone. Why? Because I want that increased healing effect, right? So I want that increased healing effect on that side for my Resolving Vigor. That's why I put a Resolving Vigor on staff side. Just getting more of a boost to the healing effect. That's all. That's why it's on there. All right. And then I got the infused mace that will get crushers. So weakening or decisive. I probably put decisive on this, given the fact. And then we can go once again with crushers on the main. All right. So that's pretty much how we're going to do it. I'm really liking it. Really enjoying this idea for the build. So once again, people ask me, why not Eben? I'm bumping everybody's health anyways as a warden through the healing system. So that's why. Maturation. All right? All right. And that's way more than 1,000. So if you had Eben on the warden, it's a perk. It's way more of a perk, but I don't need Eben on the warden tank. All right? So there you guys have it. Thank you guys. Once again, I appreciate all of you so much. If anybody has any questions or comments, please post below. I will be coming out with the videos here in a little bit up for that. The only tank I still have to do is my update for my brute, my unyielding brute build. Not too much as I don't know if I'll do a walkthrough through that, but I will get the update for that tomorrow. And then I'll be working on healers. And then my DPSs. Somerset will probably be out when I get to the DPS builds. But for console, they'll still be waiting, so it'll still be relevant. So, yeah, but yeah, definitely Nathaniel. I love the idea like of the dual wield. Keep that in mind, guys, that there are options. So you can go sword and board dual wield, like Nathaniel said. That's really, really great, especially with cloak. And each build is going to function depending on what you're trying to do with it. What I'm doing with this build is I'm using the Warden's strengths and healing to help mitigate and redistribute the healing effect to my party members. Not just being on my end. Argonian does that. So I'm going to get healing received and healing that I can do. Increasing my healing that I can do. All right, there you guys have it. Mr. Craven, ESO Daily. Thank you guys for watching. And once again and always, have a nice day.